God bless everyone. I just hope everyone is having a good day. You know, I'm refreshed.
All right, on 5.
Okay.
I am refreshed.
I'm refreshed, bro. Body feels amazing. Feet feel good.
That's great.
Head feels lighter.
I love it.
Mental's clear.
Alhamdulillah.
The world's fucking greatest podcast. Oh my God.
That was like the best 10 minutes nobody's ever going to see.
That's the best 10 minutes you'll never fucking hear. But I'd like to welcome you to the world's motherfucking greatest podcast in the
Universe, world,
I
doing
like
your
that.
whatever you want to talk about. We it, nigga. Fuck.
Who them guys?
We them guys, goddammit.
All right. We them boys. Shout out to Wiz.
I was going more so Mike Beasley, homegrown.
I respect it. Today is a special occasion because Valentine's Day will be coming up, and
Sigh.
Valentine's Day will be coming up, and I am in the spirit of love this year. As you guys know, I'm engaged. Make some noise for Charles.
Yeah.
That shit inspirational.
And as an engaged person, I feel as though like we should do an episode about love. So we've done Valentine's Day's episodes in the past, and they've come from like different.
This all you, Blair.
They've come from different perspectives. Like, you know, people are at different stages, but we're at a new stage. We're at a marriage is on the horizon stage. So as that, I think we should talk about the holiday of love, which is Valentine's Day. So there's a few different things we'll get to, but first and foremost, is Valentine's Day a scam? Yes. We got one yes. We have to take a vote. Even though you will not, no one wants to be part of this. You just have to take a vote. We got one.
I was thinking.
I'm pretty sure.
The marketing of it, yes. The actual celebration of it, no.
Okay, so we got one. We got one
say
impossible.
yes.
So we got 2 yeses.
I'm pretty sure you proposed this question because of my tweet saying that Valentine's Day is a scam. Therefore, you should already know my answer.
3.
Boom.
Valentine's Day is a scam, and
But love is love.
No,
you
I'm saying,
guys.
like, if you celebrating love, that's different. But like if you celebrate Valentine's Day, that's something else.
And I would also be a 4th yes. Valentine's Day is a big scam. St. Patrick's Day is a scam. Holidays in general are very pagan scam type
I was
of.
about to say Christmas is scam, but I ain't
Christmas. To be honest, Christmas. November. I mean, what's the
November.
Thanksgiving. Nigga said the November day.
definitely said that. Boxing Day, like all of these things.
What?
That's in Canada, I believe.
Okay.
Flag Day,
fuck
like
is that?
all these things are like Memorial's Day, like they're celebrations, but like they don't really are rooted in anything but like the fact that people wanted to do something. So like
You want to spend money, basically.
you don't have to pick that one weekend in May to celebrate
your mom.
or people in the military. You could do
I
it
ain't
all the
thinking about them
time.
niggas.
Memorial Day, you know, like people who have died, or Veterans Day. Like you don't have to like wait. You could just do that any day. So like all of these days are scams because of that nature. Because like everyone said, like love is love. Not celebrating
A day.
a day. You should be celebrating love. But we have it. Valentine's Day is here, and is that something that we should participate in?
If you have an other, yes, regardless of what they say. I've learned that the fucking hard way. But yes, if you have a significant other, you should be participating regardless of what your significant other says. Shout out to Charles and KD. They told me that. It's been a long time coming, but damn it, you know.
Let's make some noise for that. Let's make some noise for that. You're not gonna make noise. You have. I love you so much.
I'm holding my mic.
He's never going to change.
I love you so much. All right. Do you want to? I know you say you don't want to talk, but
I think a better question would be participating in Valentine's Day. Should you or should you not, depending on the status of your relationship at that point. Let's say you're in muddy waters, right? Should you still participate in Valentine's Day? I feel like if everything's perfect in your relationship and you guys believe, I guess, in this holiday, you're of course gonna fucking celebrate it in some way. But let's say, shit's rocky, man. Like you still giving her, a dozen reds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You taking her out?
Yeah. No,
What if you don't?
I ain't got that right now, but I got the dozen reds. I got some other gifts in plan on there. Shit rocky, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta be the bigger man, bro.
I got nothing.
You
for
gotta
that.
show the love.
Listen, shout out to Lee Bab. I always shout him out. Yeah, I've been telling the anti-Valentine's Day speech was like 2009. He was the first man to hear it. So fuck Valentine's Day. Probably participated in like 5.
What happened to 09, bro?
I don't know.
She hurt you that bad? You sound like Charles now.
I mean, 09. Was mine 09 or was it 10?
It was 10.
So I mean, listen, it happens. Like
Valentine's Day, like I was telling other niggas, it's cool in elementary school, bro.
it's definitely cool.
You give out your candies, you get your cards. That's cool.
That's
we
cool.
bought some candy for J9 for his daycare. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling the vibes like I was a little nigga again.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm good, bro. Don't expect me to take you out, get you this shit. I like buying stuff, but I ain't about to do all that shit. Especially if shit is foul.
You got an other?
No.
No, but he said especially. You know
Even
what?
when I had other, I don't think I really partook that much. Like go above and beyond type shit.
No, that's interesting. I
You're
think
obviously looking like trash if you don't do something.
yes.
A
That's what I'm
rose,
saying.
a singular rose. If you don't even do that, nigga, you're trash. And I feel like that shouldn't be expected because fuck Valentine's Day.
That's interesting. No, I think I kind of agree with you on a few points. I agree with you on the points that
Points be pointing.
that like if someone is upset or you're in a rocky situation, you shouldn't do some performative act just in the hopes of performing.
Oh, no.
Like that could make things even worse because like you're upset and now you're not doing it wholeheartedly. So it could even bring a whole nother array of emotions. So actually that's actually a feasible point. But on the flip side, I would say that like that's a lot of the times where people try to get back in good. So like if you are down bad, a solid Valentine's Day
The turning
may or
point.
may not be able to help you get back into the good graces or into a better state. Now, I'm not saying that it will happen.
And he's
but
also not saying it won't happen.
it won't. But I'm saying that holiday is like the way like people's families comes together on birthdays.
Shit, Thanksgiving.
Like that's that one time of the year where you kind of like can make amends or right wrongs of certain. Well, Valentine's Day I would say is like the lovers kind of equivalent where if we had Christmas was just not too long ago. Some niggas is on a high, some niggas is on a low. If you on a low, this is definitely a means to boost shit,
Re-up, man.
get us into the spring, and hopefully turn around for the summer.
Get us into
I'm just like, let's be real. Like, think about like that's how I see it.
Lies right now.
That's how I see it.
No lies.
In my stages of Valentine's Day, I will say that Valentine's Day is a scam, but it's worth the scam. I'd say it's worth it because me personally, I'm not into a lot of I'd say the societal like norms of what. Yeah, the society.
Say the performative efforts.
Yeah, the societal norms of what love should look like. So I think people think that like gifts and grand gestures and displays of affections and all these things prove you love somebody. And I don't think that's not true, but I also think that you can love somebody and just be like, yo, I like to kick it on the couch with you. Like, you're just my friend.
like
Like,
being around
I
you,
like to
like-
talk to you. Like you hear, I like to hear you talk, and I like you when I get to talk about things to you. And
Charles just trying to smell a
you
joke.
just
like,
you just understand. Like sometimes you just like
smell it. Doesn't like the way the bitch smell.
you just like you like
I
people's
got
you like people's presence.
damn right.
You like people's presence. I got a butt. You like sometimes you just like people's presence. So for me, I think
Man said Charles tries to smell her. What the
You ain't never missed a jump since, huh?
I think when that's the case, it's a
Yeah. Nigga,
it's a little
that
different.
home.
You know what I'm saying?
You felt that one?
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Like, and how can you display that? Like, how can you display?
chill.
I want to just be around your aura. Like that smell of you just makes me happy. Now there are some niggas who can bottle, find a way. Oh, you smell like lavender, so I bought a land. Like,
My
listen.
nose ain't that mature. I got, you know what I'm saying? I be smoking weed and shit. I French inhale.
It's a lot of different,
it's
what I'm
different.
saying? But I think like how people display love shouldn't be confined to what the norms of a society tell us. So that's why I agree with a lot of the points on Valentine's Day. But I also think that like, we live in this place like a reality. Like certain things are are what it is. So like, I might not like the democracy we live in, but
I'm here.
so I have to participate to some extent.
Facts.
And I think that's the
I hate the fact that my tax dollars bomb Yemen and Palestinians, but nigga, if I don't pay them,
I'm gonna go to jail.
Knocking.
You know what I'm saying? So I think there's definitely like some give or take. And you know, I went to very extreme scenarios with the politics, but I think that's what it is with like Valentine's
I
Day.
think they're fair comparisons.
I think sometimes you have to just do a little give or take. But I'm interested to hear what you have about this take. Valentine's Day should not be something that women enjoy because it is another thing of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
I don't understand how, in wanting to dismantle all these type of things, you can still love some things like Valentine's Day.
Motherfuckers want to dismantle
It's
capitalism, but you see everybody all day buying stocks and shit.
Hey, listen, I love it. Here's the thing. I mean, you have to do what everyone's doing, or you're gonna get left behind. So you could either complain about not getting it, or
You can get to it
and do what they do. You see what happened when they did the stock? The fake caused a mini revolution. The niggas got super scared and was like, "Whoa, stop, pause the game, relax, calm down." But that's the thing about I think
taking my ball and going home.
exactly. But when I relate that to like the Valentine's Day, if this Valentine's Day thing has been like, when we look at the creation, it has been created like the way sort of diamonds have and like jewelry has a way to get people to buy stuff. That's all it is. Like men found a way to get women another thing in like women's pockets, like disposable income and things like that, and have now positioned men as the ones to keep this going. So if that's the case, let's just dismantle all of it. Like, let's do away with this patriarchal idea that men have to give you things for your affection and your love and being bought off. No one likes when you put it like that.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, in a way, it's like you buying somebody off or tricking. Like, don't nobody want to say that, but it's just like when Valentine's Day is just a tricking holiday.
But that's
literally all it is.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like, that's like this conversation.
That's a patriarchal thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing where you're trying to flaunt and
because I don't know.
You know, put your standards of what do they tell you about the wage gap? Mm-hmm. So it's all these men who make more money than you flaunting their wealth by buying you things in the hopes that it will deem your romantic affections. Yeah. Now you don't have to agree with it. You can definitely think I'm out here capping but I argue, like, would you accept a card, just like a handwritten card or a 4-page letter,
on any other day of the year,
or like your birthday or something? Would that be enough?
It wouldn't.
You would want something, right? So my thing is that like all relationships are transactional. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I think men need to get out their head, that like she should love you and you shouldn't have to give her nothing. That's fucking whack, my guy. Like, that's why niggas' parents be me. Like, I've been thinking about this. Like, that's why a lot of people hate their parents, because, like, yo, your parents and you have a transactional relationship, whether you like to admit it or not. Mm-hmm. Like, them birthing you was a transaction. So you have to give to them certain things, and because they have to give to you certain things. Mm-hmm. So when your parents don't give to you, I get why a lot of men don't understand the transactional nature of relationships, because they never got. So to them, life is everybody get it themselves. There's no transaction in which it flows from adult to child and child to, so like,
or even parent to parent.
You know, like some
people never seen their parents do that shit. Yeah. It's like, bro, I ain't never seen my father be romantic to my mother, or vice versa. So how the fuck do I know what to do when it comes to romance?
And I'm not even just talking about, well, that too, but I'm just talking about transactional, like the idea of giving, like, people's parents don't even be taking care of them. Mm-hmm. So they don't understand the nature of like having to work with people. Like, when you have to take care of others. When you said
that, the first thing I thought about is like you doing chores. Like, I pay the bills and shit here.
Exactly.
So you should be able to help me out. Like, take out the trash, wash the dishes, shit like that. Like, I cook dinner, so why the fuck am I going to wash the dishes?
But that's the whole point. And like, all relationships are transactional like that. Even like to your friendships, like, yo, I do this, you do that. Like, that's just kind of how all relationships work.
Facts.
I think the biggest issue with a holiday or like things like Valentine's Day is the transaction on both sides gets skewed. Mm. One group thinks that they should not be given transactions for love. Another group thinks that well, once transaction is done, I am not owed any, well, I do not owe anything. And that is the issue here. No one is saying you have to do what someone wants, but you are owed some like a transaction has occurred and you owe somebody something. So whether it's fuck you, I don't want to talk to you no more, you owe that person that. That is what you owe. You cannot take something from somebody and just be like, oh, he shouldn't have given this to me if he knew I didn't. Well,
Why'd you take it?
Why'd you take it? You have completed the transaction. So now you have to do one of the two things. Fuck you, leave me alone. Please do not give me stuff anymore. I don't stop. I don't want, or hey, what do you want? Like, why are you giving me this? Explain yourself. Like, that's part of how transactions work. You can ignore. That's another transaction. You're allowed to do that, and people are allowed to be like, what the fuck? Like, that's my whole point. Like, things are allowed to occur and people are allowed to respond. And I just think that, like, everyone needs to understand that, especially when it comes to romantic relationships in particular. Just because someone doesn't respond the way you want doesn't necessarily mean it was a wrong response or it was just not the response that you wanted. So let's be very clear on these things. And that happens a lot for men. Like, men don't get the response they want, and now this woman is such and such, or this woman, this man is, because I don't know if he's like that. I don't know if she might not be a hoe, or my thing is like, for example, like
Jump straight to whore.
The idea of woman being like a prude, or like, oh, I gave her something, blah blah boom, and she didn't do something because of that. Oh, she's such and such. If X man would have given her X this, she would have did this. That's a very large assumption to make.
I agree.
As a person. Maybe she just doesn't really fuck with you and your vibes aren't hitting like that. How about you take stock of that? But also, I find it interesting that we can understand that and not understand, like, well, maybe he didn't want to spend on you because you don't look that good. Because this is the thing, it's all transactional. So if once you have decided that, like, yo, I have gotten something and I don't want to do XYZ because, or I have and I do because, that's on you. Like, that is your decision. Respect. Why can't the same be offered to the man? Like, why can't the decision to or not to be based on, yo, you're not that cute, so no, I'm not going to spend. Or yes, you're really cute, so I will spend. Or I think I could build with you, I'll keep you around. Or I don't think I can build with you, I won't keep you around. Like, why is the transactions only receptive to when women and not to men? That's the only thing I would say about, like, the dynamics of the Valentine's Day that I think are very skewed. That it's a very transactional thing, and it seems to only be, the transactions only seem to be accepted when they're coming from one party to the other, not from the other way around. And that just doesn't sit right with me. I fuck with Valentine's Day. It's actually a pretty nice holiday. Get to go out, get to eat for the most part. Like, what do people do on Valentine's Day? Like, outside of, like, it's a date holiday. So, like, if you go on dates,
it should be chill.
It should be chill. I be on my fair share of dates, so I don't really, like, see it as a zenith of holidays or like the standard. It's just
women love. You know what I mean? They just want that big over the top shit.
But we all, but like
to me, it looks like.
But we all love love.
Six dozen roses.
But that's what I'm saying.
The
do you
life-size
love love
teddy
or do
bear.
you love performing?
They want to perform. They
They
want to post.
They
that
want
pic
something
on
to
the
show off
gram.
and shit like that.
Fuck that.
And
Because
it's just like I don't think love can be. Love shouldn't be performative
love shouldn't be performative, but it gets me thinking of our group text
or showcased or.
Omatic a lot of times would be like, I miss y'all, let's fellowship.
Yeah.
That is love.
Yeah.
When niggas come in here and be like, don't dab me up, hug me, that is love.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, love doesn't have to be these gestures. They are.
And personally, I like that type of love a lot more.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel as though because men do not perform love in a way that women deem acceptable, they think men do not love.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I brought up the point about, like, yo, when I just want to hang with you, that is a level of love that I don't understand why cannot be seen on the same level as giving you bags and shoes and this and that. why, like, and people gonna be like, oh, what's your person's love language? Listen.
You're too old for that.
Linda,
I think it would be more so like how often are we, just chilling? Like how often are we just hanging?
if you hold on,
She might just want that one day. That's the combat. I just want that one day type.
and I can respect that, but if you're with somebody, like there are 365 days in a year. I've been alive for 28 years now, going on 29. So in 28 years, I have probably seen umpteenth amount of days. If I was in a relationship, let's say for 2 years with somebody, that's almost 800 days. So what goes on in these 800 days? Am I just supposed to be like, oh, one every 4 days? Me and you hang like, so we supposed to the same we were talking about gifts. Like, I'm supposed to give you a gift every day, or we only supposed to hang on special? Like, this is my thing. Like, if you're going to be with somebody, you are with them.
Yeah.
So why are we conflating? Like, I get it. People want
And
things.
if I'm like, and if we gotta constantly go on dates, and we can't spend no intimate time with just each other and enjoy each other's company alone, then it's just like,
I think people sometimes conflate like the want to like hang out or not spend with like some ulterior motive. And my thing is that people want things.
or brokenness.
Maybe people want things, and I get that. Like,
I just said that because I seen it on the timeline one day. Niggas was just like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
want to chill with your girl in the house all day. You must be broke. And I'm just like, maybe we just like chilling on the
but
house.
here's the thing though, like, but then I hear like, oh, go on a real date, like taking her to the park and like going. That's not a real date. So like, people are always going to.
I feel like you put more effort into going to the park and planning a picnic than making a reservation and going to a restaurant.
My point is that that's my whole point. It's all very performative in that it's the act being seen by others that people decide what it is. So that's love. So love is renting out this and putting a dozen roses and saying, "Will you be my girlfriend? Will you do I love you?" Da da da, and having someone buy a blimp in there, like that's what people deem.
Fucking with the blimp.
These grand gestures are what people deem as love, and it always baffles me because at the end of the day, don't you just have to be with the person? Don't you just have to like the person? That's why y'all my friends.
That's all some people want.
Because I genuinely like y'all. Like
You like me?
yeah, I love you, buddy. Like sometimes,
2021 been rough. No, that's nothing.
like sometimes you get stuff. Like sometimes, like. We get stuff out of each other. Like, yo, I got to go to like a movie premiere because one of my friends was in a movie. I got to be kind of like, sometimes there are perks to being friends with certain people. There are definitely perks sometimes. We've gotten into certain places because Kojo has known people and he is a friend of ours.
That's a damn show.
Like, there are perks to being friends with certain people. But I'm only Kojo's friend because I love the guy. Not because he could do some other things for me.
I got a couple niggas in the Abby said, what is it, John? A big party?
Big Pink or whatever?
No. Oh, yeah, they too. You know what I'm saying? I got people, couple players in. But, no.
But see, my greater point is that, like, once again, all relationships, not just romantic ones, are transactional. And they come with give or take. But the ultimate, like, substance or, I guess, core of all the relationships are how you feel. Not what you like. If your love language is gifts, then you can only have like, and that doesn't make like only gifts could bring out the love in you. I hate that shit. Like that idea is
that does not make sense to me.
Speak on it, KD.
No, the idea is it's not that it doesn't make sense to me, but it's just like so.
No, not to you, to me.
No. Well, oh yeah, that's true. the only thing that bothers me is that at what point when you're just by yourself and it's just two people, what do gifts have to do with that?
I don't know.
Like that's my thing. Like spending quality time, that sounds like super cap because that is the foundation of all relationships. Literally. Spending quality time. Words of affirmation. Do you think people want to be around people who don't make them feel good? Like who? Like these are not like tenets of a specific person. They're tenets of love. And that's what baffles me. Like, yo, I swear to God, G Herbo has my favorite bar of the year. Niggas saying charges to the game. Like, I don't got feelings too. Like, I have feelings just because I'm not out here like, man, fuck this. I'm not putting fucking Instagram posts with block letters saying, love me. Why doesn't anyone like niggas have feelings too? And just because the expression isn't, why don't you guys care?
Nah, facts.
Doesn't mean that people don't feel like people don't care about them. Like, why can that not be understood? Why do I need to be like, oh, you gotta, like when I say like nobody cares about men's feelings and people are like, you always say that, ha ha ha.
I'm like, no, motherfucker, they don't. Because like you're laughing now proves my point.
Because if I was laughing at you saying that, it would not be reciprocated in the same way. And that's my whole point. That's why I don't even like do the whole men versus women, because we're different. So I'm not asking it to be the same, but I'm asking if you're going to want equity, equality, all of us to do these things moving forward together, because the past is the past. It cannot change what has happened. But if you're going to ask us to do these things moving forward, yes, you need to care about the emotions of other people, men as well, not just other women. Not like here's my thing. How you treat people should go for everybody. So like, there's certain behavior I know not to do around women because they are women. There's a level of discernment that I make when saying, like, yesterday I said chicks when I was outside with Evan. They was like, I was describing the story. They was like, damn, she had to be chicks. I was like, good point. I was like, that's something I'm gonna refrain from.
You better than me.
But see, that's my thing. Like, if someone
been like you lucky I ain't say.
Well, that's what I said first, and then they were like, wow. But I had to take into account that, listen, if other group of people feel some type of way, why go out of my way just to be?
I respect it.
Yeah, just to be sort of combative. But once again, does anybody do that for people that look like me and you?
Not at all.
And that's all I'm asking.
We is niggas in all of these stories.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and nigga is like the.
Oh, and my favorite thing is
the suffix of.
And here's my favorite thing.
You know what I'm saying? It's a prefix to that motherfucker.
This is my favorite thing about the idea of nigga. Oh, nigga is gender neutral.
Bitch, nigga.
But so is bitch.
Yeah.
But if I say bitch is gender,
if I say it,
it's like. And here's the thing. It's so petty. It's so petty to do these back and forth things.
Nah, facts.
But
I be trying to tell people, I'm like, for the sake of storytelling,
exactly.
I use this word because that describes that person
at that time.
All of them, at that time. Like, I'm not saying she's a bitch all the time, but my bad. But that jump. I really tried to hold it in too. That's a kid.
I felt
no,
it for
but
the
I
explanation.
feel you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Just be like, bro, like I don't think she that. But at that point in time, that time frame in history, hey,
listen,
you was that.
A woman can call you a bitch ass nigga and be right at that moment.
Oh, I have those moments.
She's called you out your like. Here's the thing: people are like, "Don't call me out my name." Well, niggas get called out their name all the fucking time.
When's the last time you actually called me by my name?
And when people get called out their name, it's once again, and that's my thing. I'm not doing the equal for equal because it's not. Like, there's definitely different powers and whatever context. But I'm talking about me and you, and I think that's the issue here because we're not talking about how people are referred. We're talking about relationships, and relationships are normally one on one. Two people, one on one. I like that. You did the other one. I went the other way. But that brings me to another slippery slope topic. Mr. T.I. Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean that. Allegedly. I'm sorry. Please do not sue me.
15 women, bro.
T.I. dapped you up once, man.
Oh yeah, Stan at the jump.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a weird. You got a sick dap up list, man. Jones, T.I.
Man Jones is my guy. Man Jones is my guy.
We're gonna talk about that on another episode. We'll talk about
Man Jones can do no wrong.
I know. We're gonna talk about that.
Wrong.
We're gonna talk about that another episode. Another episode.
Leave it all on the line for Van, bro.
Leave it all on the line for Van, bro.
This is why it's the greatest podcast in the world.
Get back to it. Get back to it.
This is why it's the greatest podcast.
The fact that I gotta bring up politic talk on here is really upsetting me, bro.
Leave it all on.
That's my guy, bro. I'm back him 100%. 100%,
That
bro.
is my favorite tagline, and that's gonna have nothing to do with this episode. But leave it all on the line for Van.
VP next,
all
bro.
right. So, like I said,
My bad. Go ahead.
This nigga got high hopes.
It's going left. It's going left. It's going left.
steer it back.
Yeah,
Steer it back.
Nigga, Van about to get.
Steer it.
My bad.
All right.
Nigga, Van had
All
to
jokes
swoop-
aside. All jokes aside. Guys are nasty behavior. All right, so tip. Allegedly,
No, that's nasty behavior.
he has been.
Please tell me what he did, because I didn't even see. I watched like half of his video. And I
I
still
didn't
don't
watch half.
understand.
I watched 2 minutes.
I
got the
watched-
four?
I
Got the
watched
four?
a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I got to 2:10.
Once I seen that the nigga was walking away from the house.
I like
and
that.
to the
I like
house,
that. I
was
like
he
that.
did that shit.
I like that.
When a nigga go on the
I don't
nature
need nobody
walk,
to hear me
nah,
talk
dead
about
ass.
this.
I seen this tweet. I'ma steal his shit, bro. But I seen a nigga that said when you go on a nature walk, nigga, you did that shit.
I'm not gonna lie. That sounds. Anytime I've done some nasty work,
I gotta go take a walk. I gotta go walk this off right quick.
I
baby.
gotta go walk.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I gotta think about life a little bit. Cause I might have did that. And it's just like, hold on.
That's so true. With a blunt, you
Yeah,
just
you know what
go,
I'm saying?
you go walk and think about all the nasty
You
work.
gotta go think about it, baby. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You gotta like
Stop.
step off. You
How
like,
did
hold
T.I.
on, son,
turn
hold
into
on.
this? How did
on.
the T?
Nature walk.
How did
did
the
I get
T.I.
here?
turn into this?
That nigga dead ass went outside and was contemplating. He was like, how do we get here?
This is what happens when
did
you
I
smoke
do?
weed and you talk about
What
shit.
happened?
Nigga was definitely in the trees.
All right,
in the woods.
but let's get back to it. Let's
I don't even know
let's
if he
get
was at his
serious.
house.
Let's get
That
serious.
nigga might have went to another park.
Let's get serious.
I feel it.
All right. So the issue here is that
There you go.
T.I. is being accused that him and his wife are doing a number of things: drugging, having sex with underage women, passing them around to other people in their friend group, abusing them, threatening them with, if you don't do this, coercion of.
He said it was consensual. I don't
So-
know. That was the 4 minutes. The 4 minute.
I didn't get to that point, but I've heard that point. Now, this is where I want to have a conversation. Mook brought up a point. Relationships are two people. Not always.
You got your thruples and your-
We've talked about sexual deviancy or sexual proclivities that are taboo, rather.
Yes.
Word, Charles.
And when we've talked about it, what did I say? It was another group of people, but I said we need to be able to allow these things so that people do not feel restricted and end up lashing out and doing things that you see. My thing about the idea of consensual is that people who are in certain marriages have certain consensual things with other people where they have consensual sex and do all these things. Also, there are people, not just married people, but couples who have sex with people on drugs. This is a thing. Like, I have had sex with people on drugs. One person. Not groups of people, one person. But
Retweet.
that is a thing. People have sex on drugs. This is not a...
I'm not talking about weed either. All right.
Exactly. I'm not
Yeah,
talking about...
okay.
No,
Yeah,
people
drugs,
have sex
nigga.
on drugs, and this is a thing.
We do drugs.
So whether you...
I don't do drugs.
If my mom sees this, I do not do drugs for storytelling purposes.
Tish, no.
Or my dad, storytelling purposes.
A lot of liquor.
But the whole point is that, well, they would say the same thing, getting someone drunk off and then having sex. People do that. Like, people get fucked up and have sex
And-
consensually. This is a thing people do.
Yeah.
Whether you agree to it or not or like it, I don't give a fuck. The fact of the matter is, this is a thing people do. So because this is a thing people do, there is a gray area. If you
Because I was
want,
about to say, consent gets real blurry when the person is inebriated.
but the whole thing is that people have inebriated sex.
Nah, I feel that.
So, which one is it? Are
Do you go into
we
the,
allowing?
Do you go into the night trying to fuck somebody?
But here's the thing, and everything we know about sex, at any point you can decide you don't. So it doesn't matter if you
Yeah.
went in 4 months ahead. If
Yeah.
at one moment you say I don't want to,
Yeah.
I don't want to. But this is my.
Because that was my whole thing about the T.I. shit. It's just like, okay, famous couple, them people probably did go into it for the reasons that they talking about. But once you start talking about like the backstory, like, oh, you can't stay in this room unless you keep your pants on. Like, you
Get
can't
out the
stay-
room.
You can't stay in the room unless you're doing Molly. You can't stay in the room unless we take your cell phones. But at the same time,
Well, here's
you're
my
not
thing.
leaving. You're not
Yes.
leaving the room.
Yes.
But certain people are also not allowed to leave said room.
But that's the whole thing. There's a difference.
Yeah.
If you are trying to leave and are not allowed to leave, that is an issue.
Yes.
If you are told, hey, you gonna get kicked out of this party, and you're like, well, I don't want to leave the party. They have told you the rule. Like, I cannot go into certain places, and I cannot go into a certain establishment of a gentleman's club or a certain women's organization and be like, I'm here. And they'd be like, we don't give a fuck, XYZ. And I'm like, nah. They'd be like, get the fuck. So I either adhere to the rules or leave. Like, you don't have to experience a night with T.I. and Tiny. You really don't.
Yeah, especially if they're on that wild shit.
But if you have decided that, hey, I want to embark and play, at what point do I say, all right, yes, you need to be protected? If they telling you gotta do Molly and fuck to be here, and you go, okay, I'm gonna do Molly and I don't wanna fuck. They just told you have to do Molly and fuck to be here. This is
an orgy.
This is an orgy. They have told you people are having sex.
That is.
And you're like,
in layman's terms, that's what he said to them people.
and you're like, hey, I want to stay around.
The stories that I've read.
Is it confirmed that he was banging the Molly?
Yes.
I just don't know.
Every story that
I don't know
said,
anything.
They either said ecstasy
but here's my thing.
or Molly.
Really
Everybody,
the joint where Shorty got passed off, she said that they was doing both that night.
but that's my thing. No, you're being messy.
Yeah, that was wild.
But my thing about
Nigga trying to use his lifelines and shit.
super like
Who
this
wants
is
to be a
millionaire head ass.
Why not?
Because that's messy.
I don't think we asked her if we could talk about that. Like,
Consent.
She put it out on the internet.
yeah,
But see,
but nobody.
but that's the
That doesn't mean that you have the right to ask her about it.
This is another thing. If somebody tells you a story on the internet, I think sometimes people see that as some sort of
Confirmation.
not even confirmation, but like admittance of something or want for something. Some of these people don't want anything but to tell you that this happened.
Yeah.
They clout.
It's not about clout.
I don't think she
Sometimes
do that.
people just are telling.
Cause she got clout for just saying where she work at, and she don't say that.
People are just telling their story. Like sometimes people are literally like sometimes we sit up here and we tell stuff that we've done.
Yeah.
For no other reason than sharing with the public. Mm-hmm. I've definitely heard stories on this podcast of girls who date basketball players. I don't think anyone was doing it for clout. It was part of a story.
Facts.
The story was that
You can't phone a friend.
No, nigga.
we're not phoning no damn friend. My greater point is that
Thank you.
the consent thing, especially when talking about couples and people having inebriated sex, is a slippery slope that the only way is if somebody corroborates this. So if people are like, 15 women have said this, well, T.I. literally was like, yes, I do this. He did not say, no, I don't. He said, no, me and my
wife do
nasty.
do stuff.
We
Yeah.
get freaky. And we be bringing girls in we be getting fucked up, getting them on drugs, and they be fucking. And we be doing it. Mm-hmm. Now, if he passed her off, see, that's the thing. Passed her off to somebody else, that's different.
That's very different.
That woman has a claim that them other women do not because she consented to have drugged up sex with Tiny and T.I. Once it wasn't Tiny and T.I., see, that's the thing. Like, I'm a mature enough adult to realize that people can do freaky ass shit and also be violated at the same time.
For sure.
So a woman can have a threesome with one person and not consent to having a threesome with another group. Mm-hmm. And once you pass her off, that is where the crime has been committed. So if that is what is being said, yes, T.I. is a nasty, fucking filthy man and should be going to jail. Jeffrey Epstein you very quickly. But if it is the first one where T.I. is just a freaky bull, well, shit.
I think he's just a freaky bull.
Once again, I'm not here to pass. If there's one thing I think we've done a good job of,
I'm not judging.
Is pick sides. Like,
yeah, I'm not picking no sides. I'm not passing judgment.
And I think I've been actually very more lenient to like victims in all cases. I just kind of like
we've been very good to
I kind
victims
of
on this show.
just side with them overall. So
For
like
sure.
I'm willing to put T.I. in the nasty man category. Like I'm just willing. Like here's the thing:
like,
T.I. hasn't done enough good or non-nasty man stuff to be like he gets the benefit of the doubt.
Because the kill is that this rumor has been around.
But that's the thing about
it's been around. But the person that actually put it on blast,
the consent part has always been there too, though.
Exactly.
The passing of the other people is what's coming, I think, to a grander stage.
And the fact that Tiny be beating bitches up when T.I. enjoys them too much.
Once again, I see that story happen on my timeline like once every couple weeks.
For sure.
random couples having a threesome and then someone getting mad and then chicks fighting.
And then
That's not unique.
And then
I don't see nobody screaming abuse on the timeline
at all.
But my thing about it is that if he passed those girls off, or if a girl was like, "All right, this is nasty, I'm leaving," and they was like, "Nah, you can't leave." These are clearly different.
But if
those nuances are clearly different.
So if that person is drugged, I'm not going to say drugged, but very very intoxicated, and you just leave them in a bathtub and don't care about their well-being, what is that?
See, that's being a scumbag.
What am I supposed to do though?
I mean, shorty,
Put you in a bed?
she
Is
was
that
in,
better
you were
than
in
the
her
tub?
care. At this point, you are taking
He
care
has a
of this
good
human.
point. I kind of agree with Mook. Like
At this point, you are taking care of this human. If I'm sharing sexual relations with somebody, and it's just like,
that's a moral thing.
No, hold on. It is moral, but at the same time,
It's a moral thing.
I wouldn't do that, but I'm saying that's moral.
if a bitch is, I mean,
Because
if shorty is unconscious,
No, it was different when you said you had fucked her. I'm just saying.
he fucked her, and then
This is a claim?
She's unconscious. Yes.
Okay.
He fucked her. She's unconscious. He comes out the room, tells security guard, "Hey, get shorty out of here." Security guard takes shorty in the bathroom, just leaves her in the bathroom
Off the ecstasy
for hours.
Put the cold water on her.
It don't work like that. Like she
might.
can go into a seizure, my nigga. Like you gotta relax.
So we calling the feds? We getting the ambulance involved?
Here's the thing.
You could do something. First of all, you rich as fuck. It's this niggas in Atlanta. It's private doctors. Like there's ways around.
No,
this.
but I agree with you. Morally,
Cold
it's
shot.
reprehensible.
Yeah.
But-
I'm just asking for the sake of the law, because they stand.
Well,
to
that's the
twist
thing.
that up
I don't know.
and be like, that's
This is the thing about
intimate negligence.
This is the thing about sexual deviancy that is
He'll bring that shit up.
that is an issue.
Good words today.
When things are not considered, when things are considered immoral, the way we look at them by law are different. So, this sexual act that you're talking about that's taking place is immorally very bad. Like, that's a reprehensible thing to do. But I don't know what the standards are for someone who's just had sex with someone.
That's why I asked you.
Who has told, because here's the thing, once sex is over, sex is over. Like, you don't, if
but the whole kill
as
is
soon as you
that-
have sex, you can literally kick someone out your
It
house.
was a party.
See, this is too much. Like, here's the thing about, like, there's laws against having sex in public places. Now we're talking about house party.
Yeah.
So, like,
It
these
was
things,
a hotel party.
once again, like, all these things, that's the thing about all of this. Like,
Charles, that's
this
why I just-
isn't
that's why I
as
asked.
simple as this person is a bad person or this person
Yeah.
is not. That's why I don't mind anyone judging. If you think T.I.'s a bad person and are going, that's fine. I don't think you should be, like, held to some
I
sort
think
of
he's
standard.
a troubled man.
You're jokes. You're super joke.
That was great. That was great. That was fucking great.
You're super joke.
But my thing about it is that, like, if you think he's a nasty man, I don't think that's a bad thing. And if you think he is,
That's what I'm saying. I think he just.
and if
he's
you
a nasty man, bro.
no, if you think he's, but if I think you like,
Listen,
if you
until
want
they-
him Jeffrey Epstein, I don't think
sure.
that's wrong
I
either
don't think it's
because
wrong.
But the
he.
J app is a little wild, so I don't know.
But that's
But
my
we
thing.
don't-
These
son.
accusations are a little
Exactly,
wild.
bruh. Watch the Jeffrey Epstein doc.
I
That's
watched
what I'm
it.
saying.
Go to the shorty's Instagram story.
That's
read
what
that
I'm
shit.
saying. Like,
Them stories don't
necessarily
necessarily differ in too many ways.
Well, I didn't. See, I
Well,
didn't.
that's
I
my
didn't.
point.
Other
I
than a
didn't tune.
massage parlor.
you know what I'm saying?
Like-
Other than it feeling like these people, T.I. and
So is
his
it
wife.
confirmed that they're all underage? Because that would be the
Well,
difference.
see,
in this
exactly.
situation.
That's the thing. We don't know stuff like that. Like
Okay.
that type of stuff is very. We don't know.
A couple Jones stamped their age at the time from the Instagram, from the shit that I've seen, and I was just like,
Once again, like
that's.
How-
But then again, that goes into the states. That's a
once
state
again,
thing.
like
The
this
only
is
thing that
nasty.
bothers
Yeah,
me
because it's just like say like the
In Georgia, it's like 16. I know that for a
it's like
fact.
15 and a half, honestly.
My thing that bothers me about this shit is that everybody knows how public. he
And if
was
it's
about
parental
his
consent, it could be
daughter.
14.
That's my
All this
point.
daughter shit you doing, but if you're doing this underage shit, this really makes you wild. So that's why I want to know.
But that's my issue
But
though.
I said
Like
it too though, like the niggas that's like the most vicious predators be the ones that's the most
if
secure when it comes to their
if
family.
you don't want to give him and you want to think of him as a predator, I don't know if T.I. has enough goodwill to get the benefit of the doubt. That's my thing.
Facts.
there can be both sides to this. Like literally, there can be because unless the court of law is going to adjudicate this,
That's what I'm saying.
it's going to be T.I. versus these people.
Facts.
So if you want to believe these people, it is okay. These women, there is a whole segment of people who can believe these women, and it should be fine. And if you want to believe T.I., hey, that's on you. But listen, if somebody from one side calls you out, I don't think you need to be so defensive because none of you actually know. And that be the issue. It don't even be T.I. and the other people. It be people on the sides of each being like, you're morally wrong. Well, yes, this is a moral issue, and there's two sides. And I am not on your side. So, yes, I am morally wrong. But so are you. If I'm on the side, like, people should be able to be freaky and nasty, and you are like, T.I.'s bad, well, you're morally wrong to me. Do you not understand that? Like, here's the thing about morals. I've said this before. This idea of right side of history, that's for us to decide. When in the moment, Mitch McConnell, you think he give a fuck about being on the right side? He is playing the game. He is getting money for his family and his state.
Literally.
That's what he's doing. Just like all this other stuff. Like, in the history books, yes, T.I. might become looked at as a fucking nasty blah, 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 blah. But as of right now, T.I. is having sexual whatever with his person. And other people think he's predators. Unless somebody's going to adjudicate that for us, we are all left to decide for ourselves.
Really a trouble man.
That was so good.
Named episode, Trouble Man.
That was Valentine's Day, troubled man.
Yes. You know?
Yeah, anything else you have to say before the send-off?
What you getting for Valentine's Day?
Oh, thank you.
Facts.
So
I had other questions about that too, but we can stay here.
No, actual
No,
question.
go ahead.
So I'm gonna do some colonizer behavior, and I can't tell y'all till I come back from the colonizer behavior, but know that for Valentine's Day, I am participating in colonizer behavior.
Can we get a hint?
So you're going out of town
Yeah, but where?
to another country.
I'm doing colonizer behavior. I'm not proud of it, but I
Probably
am.
an
Though.
island.
I meant to text you about that because I saw you tweet about that.
Yeah,
DR Costa Rica.
I'm doing colonizer behavior.
Tulum.
I'm getting COVID shots and all that though. So
Okay.
He's going to Tulum.
nah,
I don't see the issue going to
Oh no, it's big.
yeah, I'm doing colonizer behavior for sure, but
feel
it is what it is.
I feel it.
And I think the difference between me and others, this is kind of cap, but
Very bad. I don't even.
I'm willing to admit that I'm doing colonizer behavior as I do it. It's
Yeah.
not right,
Real nigga.
but I'm letting you know that I am part of the issue. Like,
He's going to Miami.
I'm doing colonizer behavior. So like no, in the States is not colonizer behavior.
Okay.
Anything within the States is fine.
Tulum.
Or U.S. territories. Nah, U.S. territories are stretching it within the States.
They're still colonizing.
Yeah, within the States. I'm sorry. So, like, colonizer behavior is bad. So, like, if you're going to not admit it, you're even
Jamaica.
worse. Me, I'm just like,
An island.
I'm doing colonizer behavior. And to be fair, the government is fake opening back up things up. Like, they're opening up indoor dining and stuff. So, if we're listening to the government again, which sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, this seems like one of the times where I'm following their lead. Anything else before we leave?
No.
Buy your girl something nice. We love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, people.
If you need a website, I got it for you.